Welcome to the first ever Hangout on the Union Budget.
Anand, if I can come to you, a little while ago while I was listening to the finance minister talking to industrialists, the question that he asked was, he wanted to know why industry is still shy of investing. So maybe you could tell us why industry is still shy of investing, but that's an answer he'd like to have, and then go ahead and ask your question.
If I could take the liberty of flipping the order, I'd like to start with the question first, Senthil, because it's a big picture question and
Sure.
Related to something you said earlier. Mr. Chidambaram, an important priority for this budget was to show that there was a competent and firm hand in charge of the finances of the country. And frankly, from that point of view, I think you succeeded in this budget beyond any doubt. You certainly demonstrated that. But however, post the budget, there was a refrain that more was needed. I recall at Davos, a mutual friend, Lionel Barber of the Financial Times, mentioned to me that what was needed to be done by businessmen and the government was to put India back on the global agenda. We were simply not part of the conversation. And arguably the budget is such an opportunity to send these signals. But the critics have said that this was a non-event. Now you could answer that in two ways and say that, well, a non-event, no-nonsense budget was exactly what was required and has a longer-term effect. Or you could say there was, in fact, a big bang concealed inside your budget. We just weren't reading the signals correctly. Which answer would you give? Or is there a third answer altogether?
No country in the world that I know is talking about a big bang. Is there a big bang coming out of the US? Is there a big bang coming out of Europe? Please remember the Eurozone is in recession. Germany has contracted in the last quarter. The UK has contracted in the last quarter. Italy is in a tailspin. Japan is stagnating. From the US, you get good news one week and bad news another week. There's no big bang anywhere in the world. We can't invent a big bang. What we're trying to do is stabilize our economy, like many other countries are stabilizing their economies, and get the growth engine started. And as I said in the budget speech, if we grow at 6% and above next year, 2013-14, we'll be the second fastest growing economy in the world. So I think these big bangs may make for good media, good theater, but there's really no big bang anywhere in the world in 2013.
If I may come back on the question Senthil asked me about investment. All of us businessmen want to invest. That's how you make money. That's how you earn a living. We want to believe. And we're in this classical situation of waiting for some kind of trigger to believe again. There is a very strong body of opinion that believes that if the RBI follows up on this budget by lowering interest rates, it will be that signal. But Mr. Finance Minister, you will recall at the pre-budget meeting, I talked also about process versus content. Or you could say a little element of theatricality, to use your phrase about theater. Perhaps I could ask that even when you talk, for example, about disinvestment, it was mentioned in pure math terms about what your target was, about 40,000 crores. But maybe could there have been more theater about how you would go about doing it? Could there have been a little more articulation about going out and perhaps evangelizing retail investors who would, and restarting, for example, an equity cult again? A little more about that process might have helped, but you restrained yourself. And in all areas you gave targets, but moved back from that element of theater that might have created that trigger for us.
You see, in 2012-13, after I took over, every single disinvestment has been a success. Every single one. I started with about 2 or 3,000 crore, and we'll end the year with 24,000 crore. For the next year, I have lined up the list of companies which will be disinvested in. I know exactly which company, what amount. We have even a sequence laid out. So we will raise 40,000 crore. It's work in progress. It's a workman-like division of the Ministry of Finance. There is no occasion to make a theatre out of that, because this is simply disinvesting one after another. The first disinvestments will start in April. In fact, we have 3 coming up in March for this year, and the first disinvestments will start in April. So I hope to collect my 40,000 crore. I didn't think that merited theatre in the budget speech. But if you want to know, or we can always find another occasion where we can get all these companies on stage and have a little theatre there. But I think we will raise 40,000 crore.
I will advocate that, sir. You are a poet. You quoted some poetry, so you have a very strong, bright brain in you. I would look forward to that little bit of theatre. I think it might put us over the tipping point and we start investing in it.
And if I may add, we've got another 14,000 crore lined up where we will sell the residual stake of government and non-government companies. Suti has 3 companies. There are a couple of other companies. The residual stake of government means very little. We don't have control. We don't have a stake in the management. We don't wish to have control. That stake is there for many years. So some of that will be disinvested too, or sold, the right word. And we will expect to raise 14,000 crore. And if I raise 54,000 crore in one financial year, that's a success by any standard.
Amen to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand.